Rob, one of the big, fun, relevations of a show this year that a lot of us had a lot of question marks about, but it turned out pretty damn great, is Watchmen. Watchmen turned out a lot better than I thought it would. I mean, I thought the ending of it could have been a little better, but overall, I thought the season was fantastic. It won a lot of people over, and great. And so, with that kind of success, it seems like a no-brainer, at least in the movie world it would be, that you're going to prep up for the sequel. You're getting ready for season 2. Well, Rob, according to reports, it's looking that Watchmen season 2 is not going to happen. They're saying Damon Lindelof has walked off. The report is saying this. Now, this comes out of USA Today, but of course, we're pulling this from our friends over at Coming Soon. According to the USA Today, Watchmen will probably not see a second season at HBO after creator Damon Lindelof announced that he was not interested in pursuing a season 2. Lindelof told the outlet that with the first season of Watchmen, he told the story that he wanted to tell, but has given his blessing to the network if they were interested in doing another season. However, HBO programming chief Casey Bloys wrote the following: "It would be hard for us to imagine doing a season 2 without Damon Lindelof involved in some way, making the second season highly unlikely." Rob, I know that this Watchmen series for you was a little bit of a roller coaster ride. Like, you didn't know what to make of it before it came out. Then you were very perplexed by it when it did come out. Then it totally won you over for a while, and it was an emotional roll. It was a really storm of emotions for you. Hearing that they're probably not going to do a second season, and by the way, nothing's been said definitively, but seeing this type of report, do you think this is the right move? Are you surprised? I'll be honest, I'm shocked, but are you surprised by this? How are you feeling about this?
Well, Lindelof was very clear that he was only going to do one season of this show. He said it from the beginning. He said it in many different interviews. So it doesn't surprise me. And he flat out said, if somebody else wants to come along and tell a new story, I could see that happening. But, HBO has a relationship, as many networks do, with showrunners themselves. And Lindelof, coming off of The Leftovers, the 3 seasons of The Leftovers, which was highly regarded, and then also that he flat out said, I have one story to tell and I'm going to do it. So I'm surprised that no one has been there to take up the baton. I would have thought that maybe Lindelof would have had a protege or somebody else who would come in. But, to be honest, for whatever faults you might say that the Watchmen had, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, John, because I'm no fan of Lindelof's work, I thought what he did was audacious, ballsy. I don't think it worked a lot of the time, but it did work enough of the time where I was glued to the screen. And I spent a lot of time, sometimes in seething anger and sometimes in admiration, over each episode of Watchmen. But I'll tell you one thing, it certainly was compelling viewing. And I have to say, I give it up to Damon Lindelof. I will be sorry to see no more Watchmen.
Yeah, I have to believe that cooler heads are going to prevail and they will do a second season at some point. I mean, I just have to believe that they will. They stumbled on something that I think surprised even them how well it turned out. And I just got to believe that the business part of this has got to at some point come out and say, this just worked too well for us not to do another one. And maybe Lindelof doesn't come back. And you know what? By the way, full kudos to Damon Lindelof as a creator. If he's at a point that he's like, hey, I've told the story I wanted to tell. This is all I wanted to do. And he's not going to force himself to do more. Hats off to him. That's great. But that doesn't mean as a network, when you're sitting on this incredible property that people are liking, and by the way, in an environment where you've got Netflix, we're going to talk about them in a second, is pouring every cent they've got into new content. You've got Disney Plus now on the market. That stupid NBC named network Peacock is going to be launching here pretty soon. Apple TV is cranking out content, all this kind of stuff. When you've got that type of environment, when you're HBO and you've kind of been used to having the playground to just between yourself and Netflix, you're sitting on an IP that critics liked, that audiences liked. Apparently a lot of people watched it. I just got to imagine, Rob, that at some point they're going to realize, of course, we have to do another season. Even if it's not with Lindelof, we got to do another season. Now, whether that's a good or a bad thing, we'll have to wait and see. Question here is, guys. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I think one of the byproducts of all of this that I really am excited about, at least that the streaming wars are going to bring us, is Watchmen was hugely ambitious from a storytelling standpoint, from an intellectual standpoint. And what's happening is the bar is being raised really high for all of these shows, whether we're getting Watchmen or something like The Expanse, whether we're getting the morning show. I can't wait for the next season of Ozark, HBO's new Stephen King adaptation, The Outsider. This is all really excellent television, and the bar is just being pushed ever higher. And it's nice to see that consumers are embracing this kind of A-list Tiffany storytelling that we're getting. And what a great time to be a fan of television or streaming, whatever you want to call it.
All right, guys, the question is, what do you think about this? Do you think it's a mistake that Lindelof stepping away? Do you admire what he's doing? Do you think HBO should move ahead with the second season of Watchmen? I want to know what you guys think. Jump down to the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. All right.